All right, me and Judy are about to dial. Judy, you mind to pull up and get ready to dial Jane's lead? I'm going to go ahead and dial Lauren's. Oh, you can't get to these?
No.
Well, I'll tell you what. Can you see this?
Which one am I doing?
Michael. You get ready to dial Michael, and I'm going to dial Lauren's lead. So, Lauren, we're calling Jacob on Lee Road. This is for Lauren, and hopefully he answers. And then Judy's going to dial Michael on Morning Dove. Am I good on sound? Can you guys hear the phone ring?
You sound great. I do got questions for you when you're ready.
Boom. All right, before Judy hits that dial button, that was Anya. Please note that I called Jacob. He didn't answer. Before Judy hits that dial button, what's our questions?
I'm gonna have to read this one for you. Boop, put it up here. If you sell a house via contract for deed or any other way, do you have an attorney hold the deed in escrow? The home I'm talking about was purchased, sub 2.
Oh, you want to answer this one? You want me to?
Go ahead.
So, for selling a house on contract for deed, it is a recorded contract. So, if Judy sells me a house on contract for deed, I have a recorded contract. Andrew Schlag, Trust Entity LLC, whatever, has the right to buy this, is technically the owner, but he doesn't yet hold the deed. So, it's I'm not an attorney, don't claim to be. Your attorney will handle all this. It is a recorded contract. So if Judy would never do this, but God forbid if somebody sold me a house that wasn't so upstanding, if they went to sell it to someone else, when that someone else ran title search, it would say, wait, yes, seller Judy holds the deed, but Andrew Schlag has a contract for deed, aka says once he's paid off Judy this amount, then X happens. So actually, I bought a house from a lady years ago, and she unfortunately passed away while I was buying her house contract for deed. And in that case, it was because I have a recorded contract. We just go through the title company, the closing attorney, and all of her heirs signed off. The attorney handles all that. And then, of course, when I paid them off, I got the deed. What we got next?
That's it for now.
Beautiful. All right. Let's see if we can get Michael on the phone on Morning Dove. This is Jane's lead.
Wireless customer you are calling is not available. Please try again later.
Oh, that last number is 6 instead of 4.
That's what happens when you can't see.
Oh, good. I'll zoom it up here for you. If you're like me, my LASIK is wearing off, so we got to make our screens a little bigger.
No way. How long did you have your LASIK?
My LASIK is getting better. Got to future pace myself, Stephanie.
I think I've had mine for maybe 20 years now.
Really?
Yeah.
It's incredible. Still as good as day one?
Still is. What I did learn from my optometrist or my surgeon, he said, if you don't keep your eyes hydrated, it may come off as if your eyesight is blurry.
Hello, Michael. This is Judy, and I'm calling about the house that you have there. Is it still for sale on Morning Dove?
I'm getting ready to put it on the market. I'm eating it right now.
Okay. Well, are you interested in selling it as it is before you list it on the market?
It's if the money is right, but I've had a million people call me, and so far the highest cash offer is $285, and that's not enough. So
what are you wanting out of this house?
If I wouldn't have to do anything else to it, I would say 300.
Okay. And if it's in really good shape, what do you think I could get for it if I finished up what you're doing to it?
Say probably 325 to probably like 325. It is going to need a new roof. It doesn't leak now, but it's got the original roof on it. I believe this was built in 95, so it's a 30-year-old roof. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's when this house was built.
Okay. So that house,
someone wants to come in here and do their thing, there is money to be made, but it's like I'm already halfway finished painting the downstairs, and I'm getting ready to go on the upstairs. Like, I've been working on this house for about a week now, and I'm in no rush. But yeah, if someone came to the table and offered me 300,000, then yes, I would take it, and I would leave the paint and everything else.
so does it still have a debt on it?
Yeah, I owe 196.
Okay, so you're looking at basically pulling 100K out of it. That's what you're wanting to do.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're not realtors. We wouldn't be, no realtors fees.
Yeah, I get that. Like, if I were to do everything myself and then list it for 325, 330, and then the realtor takes their fees and stuff, I'm still going to make my 100,000 or 105,000 or whatever it's going to be, So I know the numbers, and so that's pretty much where I'm at. Like, yeah, there's some little things that with every house, but I figure whoever buys it, they're gonna want to do their own thing. But it's basically it's livable. Like this was a rental property,
Mm.
and I have other property that I want to develop, and so I need the 100,000 to basically start on that project.
Okay. Well, let me ask you first on that roof. Have you ever had any storm damage? That's not anything that you can file an insurance claim on.
There were, I think, like when we first bought this house, a windstorm came through and blew off a couple shingles, and I jumped up there and replaced. I think there's 3 shingles that don't match the rest of the roof, but I just didn't want the roof to leak, and so you can't really see it. You could see one shingle, like if you're down the road, but I mean the house sits up so high, like it's kind of like on a hill, that only the homeowners would know about it, but I just didn't want to spend money on a new roof,
I hear you. I know I've just had insurance replace several roofs in the past. And
Well, yeah, like I've had insurance do the same, but
Mhm.
it's got to be like what they call an event, like if a storm rolls through, you got to keep track of the date, the time it came through, all that jazz, and or they don't approve it, and
exactly.
so
that's all I was asking, if there'd been any go through, because I know there's been a lot go through recently. And sometimes if there is, we can go back and find the event. And even though the roof's 30 years old, we get our roof put on. So I'm thinking ahead, trying to work out something here that could work for us. So if I could take over your debt, your loan, and make the payments on that, what would be the least cash you could take right now while I paid out your equity?
well, the if you took over my loan, then $100,000, like 100,000 cash, and then you take over my loan, like it's that's pretty much how it would work for me.
So do you already have something you're getting ready to invest that in right now, or are you looking
Yeah,
for
like-
that?
Land up in Michigan, and I'm building multiplexes, and so I need the money for the construction crew to start. Basically, I need that as a down payment for the loan for the construction loan.
Okay. We could probably come in with a lesser amount than that, but not at the 100K, because that's getting us too close to its full market value, unless you can give me some time to pay you out. If I could give you a cash payment.
And they're like, oh, well, what if we give you 50 and then I could give you the rest later? And yeah, it's like I know where the market is. Like I got multiple properties. Like this is basically what I do. Like I flip houses, and then I have multiple rentals as well. And so it's I understand you have to make your money and stuff. There's got to be enough meat left on the bone, but I don't mind finish painting. That's really all this house needs. Is it needs paint. Some carpets need to be steam washed or steam cleaned, and then it's ready to rock. Like I already finished painting the front of the house on the outside, and I mean I got a list of stuff that I'm doing, and the only thing left is basically cleaning and painting. And I could either get another renter in here, like even that's on the table too. Like I might get another renter in here, and then maybe pull equity out of one of my other houses to get the money for the construction loan. But I understand if there's not enough, but that's the only way that it would happen. Is I got to make 100,000 on this deal.
Okay.
So,
Well, if you pulled it out of another house, and we're going to pay you out that 100 over time, or as soon as we get someone else in it,
I just
could you
don't
pull
like
that?
my money being tied up like that. Like I've done that in the past, and I missed up on deals, because I didn't have the money, and it's kind of like going to a bank and you get one of those CODs for 6 months. Like they hold your money for 6 months, but you can't touch it, you can't use it. And I don't want to do that. Like that would be the same as here, where if you gave me X amount and then a year later gave me the rest, I don't want to do that. So like there's only 3 options that I'll take, is like you're talking about. Someone can come in, take over the loan, give me 100 cash, or someone can pay cash and I'll pay off my own loan, or I could sell it and somebody can finance and that's how I'll sell the house, you know. And so it's like I said, I already have realtors that I work with, and I know you're not a realtor, but I know the realtor fees and stuff. And yeah, if I list this, like when I do list it, I plan on listing it for about 335. That's a little over market, but I mean, this is a very high desirable area, and I'm very confident that this house is going to bring in, or I'm going to sell it for 325 or higher, and and I'll even make more than 100,000. You know, so yeah, I got to finish painting and stuff, but I don't mind it. So I got another week of painting. You know, like it's.
And are you going to put the roof on? Because with that being the height roof and everything, that's not a real inexpensive roof. So that's going to eat into
I
your.
get that. I mean, it just depends. You know, it's not leaking now, and if somebody comes in and my asking price, or if I list it for 335, and someone like, oh well, what about the roof? Okay, well I'll take off $8,000 for the roof, and so now we're at 327. You know, so I'm still hitting my number.
So you think you can get that roof on for $8,000?
What's that?
I say you think you can put that roof on for $8,000?
Yeah, I have contractors that can do that.
Okay.
But I just don't. I don't want to. I don't have. I would have to juggle some stuff around to make that work. If I don't have to go through that trouble, then I'm not going to go through that trouble. You know. So.
Right. Because I know if you're trying to go for a conventional loan and the roof's that old, they're going to come back and tell you it's got to have the roof replaced. And
then I would just take that off of the offering price. Like I said, I'll just cross that road like when I get there, you know. But as of right now, I'm not touching the roof, you know. So.
Okay.
But. Yeah.
And it needs carpets cleaned, or they need to be replaced.
No, they just need to be steam cleaned. Like the tenants that were in here before had animals, and so there's dog hair, and yeah, I just got to steam them. And like I said, the tenants literally just moved out the first of the month, you know. So as soon as they moved out, that's when I started working on this house. You know, that's how I do it. You know, once the tenant moves out, then I work on painting and getting it ready for the next tenants, or I sell it.
Okay. Well, let me run this by my partner, and we'll get back with you maybe in a week or so.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Questions in the chat. Judy, what's the synopsis in your mind right now?
He's an investor. He thinks he's got it all together. He doesn't realize he can leverage other properties and pull the money out and get his full asking price here if he would take payments. So his lack of knowledge of real deal structure is going to cost him.
Big time. You know, exactly what went through my mind there. And by the way, put your questions in the chat. Joanne says, will he pay all closing costs? Almost certainly if he sells traditionally. It's a buyer's market right now. Post your questions with the queue in front of them and we'll get to them. It's a buyer's market. And this guy's about to get smacked upside the head, unfortunately. I mean, he could get super lucky and maybe, you know, he magically gets 3 offers above asking. But right now, that's not what the market's doing. Generally speaking, in the Midwest, it's more likely he's going to list it at 335. He's going to get some offers eventually, 60 to 90 days in the 310s to 320s. Let's say he sells it at 315 minus a roof, which by the way is not 8K, it's 15K.
No, right, I know that.
And I got roofs on and I got contractors. Some contractor fed him a line of crap and he believed them. 315. So now he's down to 300 minus realtor fees, which is how much?
At 300,000 times 6%, it's going to be 18,000.
So now he's down to 282 minus steam
Closing.
cleaning and closing costs. How much is closing costs?
He's probably going to be down at least with where that is, probably 2,500.
2,500. So now he's down to 370 or 279 and change. Who here realizes every month it says there's a tax bill, an insurance bill, a mortgage payment, an electric bill, a gas bill, a water bill. So he's losing another 2,000 a month right there. So 2,000 times 3 months is what?
6,000.
So now he's down to 272. Holy cow. So now his magic $100,000 that he's going to walk away with winds up being around 70. And I need you guys to understand this because this is the math that you're going to do to help sellers. This is the math you're going to do for you. So sometimes when we kill a deal, there's a reason why. And it's because if you buy a house by HGTV math, then you paid $250 for it. You put 10 into rehabbing it. And you sold it for $300. You made $40,000 net liquid cash. Yay, you're a flipper. If you do reality numbers after closing costs and holding costs and electric bills and gas bills and mowing the yard if it's summer and mortgage payments and all of this stuff we call holding costs, not to mention the roof. And while he's doing the roof, there's going to be some bad decking. And so the bad decking is going to be another 1,000 he wasn't figuring. Not to mention while he's deep cleaning carpets, one of them's going to be too old and have to be replaced.
And probably some gutters when you get
Some
into the
gutters,
roof.
almost certainly. So I'm sharing this when I say expect the unexpected. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying I need you to be which by the way is why we love partnering with our crew. In fact, I was just hearing you're partnering with Valerie on a deal, right?
Right.
Out there. And then I think Chris just partnered with Alicia. I was just hearing about David just partnered with Alicia, a bunch of partnerships going on because this is the unknowns. And so what is going to happen is we get to follow up. Follow up is the key. All right. We're going to dial some more sellers. Before we do, any questions, Stephanie?
We sure do. Let's
Boom. What's
see
our questions?
here. Okay. Well, this one's more of a comment. Any buyer using VA financing won't get approved either if there are any roof wiring, older wiring doesn't pass for VA. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. Good point.
Here's a question from Christine. What if I have
Hello,
some prime what if I have some prime opportunities right now and I don't want to have to deal with much past what I have already compiled potential is exponential?
Can you ask that in English?
I know. Sorry, I even just confused myself. Sorry, Christine. You might want to send that one back over. Here's a question.
Hello.
I get this all the time. This kind of talk with seller and they are looking all cash. That is the issue with LPOF.
Yes. That's the problem with lease purchase and owner finance. Judy, you can take this one. Do most of the sellers you talk to say, please take my house now, or most of them tell you no?
If they're really a seller, they many times are almost begging you to buy their house.
So what do we do about all the people telling us no?
Just like this last one, we tell them next or next till later.
So how many
if it's
deals
not,
have you done in the last 5, 6, 7 years?
way over 100,
So out of over 100 deals, how many sellers would you say you talked to that told you no?
probably 600 or 700.
So if you had to talk to, let's call it 1,000.
Yeah,
If you talk to 1,000 sellers to buy 100 houses, that means 90% of them told you no.
true. We don't look to get every deal because we're looking for the ones that the numbers work for us and for the seller. And sometimes it takes, the seller will tell you no because they don't either know, like, or trust you yet.
Yes.
I always go back to the one little house that I had. A friend of mine called and told me about this one, and her friend was wanting to sell it, but she said she doesn't trust realtors. I'm like, okay. So I gave her a call, and the lady starts telling me all the work that it needs when we get there. So we're going through, we're looking at her house, and she's pointing out, it needs kitchen cabinets, it needs the floors redone, it needs the bathrooms updated, and she's showing me stuff in the basement that needs doing. So she's already validating that it's below market value.
And I want to point out something too. Type it in the chat, follow up. Because what happens with this guy is I hope for his sake, he's right. I hope he listed at 335 and get multiple offers. And I hope he nets $100,000. I would genuinely desire that for him. The likelihood of that happen, I'm going to bet like 0.1%.
Agreed.
It just doesn't happen. Except who here thinks that after 6 months of listing on the market and 6 more mortgage payments and 6 more electric bills and 6 more gas bills and 6 more mowing bills, because by then it's summer in Kentucky, who here thinks that after all of that time, this guy suddenly becomes more motivated? Of course. And this is what I want to point out. We was just up on the rooftop here. I wish I didn't have to be hardwired in. I would take you up and show you guys right now. I was just on the rooftop. Isn't it beautiful?
Oh, it's gorgeous. Looking out over the whole city and the.
And there's horses next door. There's horses next door that we're not allowed to feed or pet, but they're beautiful to look at. So horses next door. But I share this because Jason, one of our incredible mastermind community, just shared. He just got a non-refundable option deposit. Guess how much his non-refundable option deposit was? He got 10 or 11 days ago. Guess the amount. It's a non-refundable option deposit. That's all the information I'm giving you on a lease option. Guess how much it is? Type it in the chat. $50K, Marlon says. All right, I need 10 more guesses. $25K, Mike says. All right, 10 more guesses. $55K. Oh my gosh. Who just said $55K? Well, I don't need 10 more guesses. You were right. Who said that? Tom? Tom, congratulations. You just won $100. Give it up for Tom in the chat. Oh yeah, we're going to give away $100 cold hard electronic cash. Tom, are you coming to Cincinnati? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you're going to be in Cincinnati. If you're going to, what's that?
Sure, at this time.
Okay, if you're in Cincinnati, I'm going to give you your $100 in person. If you're not coming to Cincinnati, I'm going to reluctantly send it to you electronically. Okay. So
After the Cincinnati event.
after that, but you are going to get $100. I promise
Be
you.
that way.
So either way, you're getting $100. $55,000 non-refundable option deposit. Here's what I need you to understand. This is an answer to the question or the statement a moment ago, is that this is my problem that many people tell me no, is anything you do, most people are going to tell you no. It's just a matter of how many no's you have to go through to get to the yes. Jason reaches out to the seller. He calls the seller. He knew the seller needed to sell, just like this guy. He emails the seller. He emailed him once a week. Only Jason. You'd have to know Jason. He's incredible. Every single week, he emails the guy, as well as calling the guy, as well as texting the guy, until the guy says, leave me alone. I'm not interested in selling you my house. But guess what happened about 7 weeks later? Jason is boarding a plane. He just told this up on the rooftop minutes ago because he just got a $55,000 non-refundable option deposit a week or so ago. The seller reaches out to him. Jason is on a plane, and the seller calls him and emails him and texts him and says, we need to talk. Please call me. Who here thinks that Jason got everything he wanted in that deal? You can put a yes in the chat if you get the drift, okay? Of course. Why? Because now the seller is more motivated. Time and circumstance changes every seller's mind. So the problem is never the market. The problem is never sellers saying no. The only problem is, are you willing to go through multiple no's? Kurt Dixon, who's in the other room, when he started 4 or 5 years ago, it took him 196 no's to get to a yes. But that yes was $71,699. How many of you think you could get through 196 5-minute phone calls that said no if it meant $71,000 on 197? Like, give me some more yeses in the chat. Okay, this is what I need for you to understand, because this is the name of the game. Just like I pray you don't take the first bid for the roof that comes along. Just like I pray that you don't take the first bid for the carpet cleaner that comes along. You go get 2 or 3 bids and you get the best one. So you're not going to take the first deal that comes along. Otherwise, you're going to be paying all cash and retail value, and we don't make money that way. So we either get time or discount.
Mm-hmm. And I'd even make that many calls for less than $70K.
You would do it for how little?
Well, I mean, I don't aim to make that many calls before I get a deal,
How
but
many calls right now does it take you to get a deal usually? Because of course you use good leads and use a lot of word of mouth.
probably about 8 to 10 of good leads. Now, if I'm just calling anything and everything out there, then it might take 16 or so. But people are looking to sell. And the biggest thing is they have to know that you're believable. And if you're believable, they're looking for an out.
That's it. All right.
You can't sound like a used car salesman when you call them up.
And that's something I want to take away. You guys hear Judy's authenticity on that call? I wanted you guys to hear a different perspective than just mine. Thank you, by the way, for missing pickleball to do this.
Oh, you're welcome.
Because I wanted you guys to hear every personality is different. Tom isn't going to sound like Roseanne, and Roseanne's not going to sound like Mike, and Mike's not going to sound like Jen. We all have a different personality. But who here heard the same frame of questions, even though Judy is slightly more patient than me? Yes. All right. Let's see. Let's do another round of dials. Judy, you mind to get ready to dial Steve's, and I'm going to dial Kay's. So I'm calling Alton.
While
Go ahead,
you do
Stephanie.
that, I do have a question from Joanne. She's asking, how do you get into partnerships? You kind of glossed over it about how they were making partnerships over at the mastermind.
Jane. Or who asked that question?
Joanne.
Joanne.
She's
Joanne
asking.
Whedon. We have actually 2 Joannes in the group. So the way that we partner is with our coaching community. So the answer in short is fill out the link there on YouTube where you're watching and talk to the team about it. Now, I get a question all the time. Andrew, why can't I partner with you and then become a part of the group? The answer I answer candidly because I give out all this information for free. I want you guys to go do deals. That's what I want for you. The reason I choose to only partner with community members is because now we have the same baseline. I didn't have that rule. In 2017, I wanted to help everybody. People come to me and said, hey, Andrew, I want to partner. I want to start doing deals. Can I partner with you? And what I found was it took me 3 to 6 months to help people get up to speed on how I did things. And who here thinks in 3 to 6 months, I can buy a whole lot more houses than I can train one person to bring me a deal to partner with? In other words, if I'm going to partner with Tom, Tom's part of the community. So now I would gladly partner with Tom. But if I was going to partner with Tom before he became part of the community, if it took me 3 months of one-on-one weekly calls with him to get him up to speed, and now finally he brings me a deal and we split 20K, well, great, we just made 10K. That hour a week that I'm one-on-one dialing with Tom, I could have just went and done a deal a week. And not to brag, it just is what it is. And so the math didn't work. And so I made a rule in 2020, and me and Leo launched this community. I said, we will only partner with the community because they have been up to speed on how we do deals. Judy knows how we do deals. Chris knows how we do deals. Others know how we do deals. And so now it's a marketplace of deal makers who are on the same wavelength, right? And so in other words, it's its own language. It's like when we go to Japan, other than a couple words, arigato, that's about as far as I go. A couple words I know, but beyond that, they are talking about stuff and I don't know what they're talking about. So it would take me a little while to get acclimated. So I need for you, every one of you on YouTube, my desire, my prayer is that you take this information and do deals. And then, yes, I know from that every once in a while, some of you are going to go, oh my gosh, I want to partner with Judy. I want to partner with Andrew. I want to partner with some of the others in the other room in there that you're talking about. I want some 55K rods. Does everybody get a 55K rod? Heck no. But Jason has been doing the dials and doing the work and doing the follow-up, and he happens to do that from time to time. All right, we are dialing.
Which one are you doing?
I am dialing Alton on Helmuth.
Okay.
And then if you don't mind, get ready to dial Grant on Polster. You guys enjoying this? Just give me a yes in the chat if you guys are still awake, having fun. Well, need it zoomed. Are you good?
How do they proceed? I'm not available.
All right, you too.
Steve, right?
Yeah, no, you're calling Grant. Steve is who state lead it is. Actually used to live on Poster Drive.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're
Double dial him if you don't mind. Just dial him again. Stephanie, we like the music.
Thanks. I did have one question.
Yeah.
What is the best free method to get leads? And the first thing I remember was like, hey,
Your call
Facebook
has been
Marketplace,
forwarded
but
to
you tell me.
Yes. Good question. So best free, and that's a very relative question, Jerry. But I would always go to Facebook Marketplace. You're there in Georgia. I would go to your local town there in Georgia, and I know the name just escaped me, but I would go to your local town there in Georgia and go message 10 people a day on Facebook Marketplace. Go to Zillow. Just start banging out those leads. Also, I know my assistant just sent you that iSpeed to lead. When you sign up there, I think you get $100 of free leads. You can buy a bunch of their leftover leads. They're not the highest quality, but you can buy like 100 leads for like a couple $100. So that's another thing I would be trying. What do you have to add to that?
One thing I would add, if he's actually, or they're
Ooh,
looking to
microphone.
buy in their own hometown.
Oh, Micah.
Yeah. If they're buying in their own hometown, when you run to the grocery, go buy the back road, go buy the housing, the subdivisions. And because those for sale by owner signs that are put out in the yard, they don't put them anywhere else.
That's a really good point.
And I've picked up several houses like that.
We bought dozens of houses over the years, just doing exactly what you just said. Actually, I hired a meter reader one time to do that for me in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I probably bought close to 24 houses from a meter reader sending me for sale by owners in 2015.
I bought one of the best deals that I ever had. It was in Florida. It was a little house that there was a for sale by owner sign, and it had been out there so long it was grown up in weeds by the mailbox, and it actually had 3 residents on one property.
reason for calling. We'll see if this person is available.
Andrew calling about the Woodflower House. Hey, it's Andrew calling you back. How you doing, man? Good. Hey, I was looking over the details on this house on Woodflower Court.
Are you trying to be a listing agent? Are you an investor?
I'm an investor.
Oh, have a good day, sir.
You too. I'm gonna call him back. He did.
Hi, if you record your name and reason for calling, I'll see if this person is available.
Hey, man, I had a good offer for you. Let me know if you want to sell it.
Thanks. Stay on the line.
See if he answers again.
Yes, sir.
Hey, buddy, we lost connection. What are you asking for it?
100,000.
Okay. What do you think it would appraise for?
100,000.
Okay. And is there any flexibility?
Negatives.
Okay. $499.
No.
Okay. Are you open to owner financing?
No.
Got it. Are you the owner or you a wholesaler?
Owner.
Got it. Okay. How long you been trying to sell it?
It doesn't matter.
Fair enough. All right, man. Well, good luck. Hope you get to sell it one day. All right. Bye. That's funny.
And don't you love those that think they know everything?
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. Next. So we are going to call, you want to dial this one? Walker Way. I'm going to call John.
James
Who
said,
here thinks that guy is not selling that house?
James.
What kind? Go ahead.
James says, well, that's why it's not selling.
Yeah, no kidding. And I share this because you're either, and I want you to note this down, you're either solving a house problem or a seller problem. And I'm telling you, this goofball will sit on this house for God knows how long until one day it hits him that he can't afford. Now, maybe he's a arrogant person who just has a lot of money and he can sit on it and afford to lose money for years. And if so, God bless him. But most of the time, I had a seller who was exactly like that years ago. And the problem was she was 21 days from losing it on a tax sale. She was tired of investors lowballing her and she was angry at the world. And so just understand that there's people like that who just have that problem. And by the way, when you don't get turned by that, I guarantee you, he was shocked I called him back. So just know that when you don't get turned by that yeah, most of the time.
This is John.
Hello, John. I'm calling about the house you have there on Waller Way. Is it still for sale?
Walker Way.
Yes.
It's under contract. We just went under contract a couple days ago.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You bet.
Next. All right. So I know they are coming in and they're eating dinner. I hear them in there eating dinner. You better ready to go join them. It does smell good too. I think we should wrap. I got a lot more to do. We got more dials to make, but I'm getting hungry. Guys, I want to give you a point. By the way, type your takeaway from today. I want to hear your takeaway, what you most enjoyed. I know we changed up the format, having my incredible co-host here. I know we changed up the format with a slide deck. Just put in the chat. What did you most enjoy today? I want to see what your perspective is. And when it comes time to do this business, I want you to understand that it is your ability to get through the nose that will determine your success. Now, don't get me wrong. I know the chances of us buying that house are very slim with goofball there, but I also know that you must stand out and you must continue to follow up. I have sellers all the time who have reached out. And what do they often say? Out of all the buyers that called me, you were different. Why are we different? Because we ask better questions, because we're confident, because we don't have no problem getting through the nose. It doesn't throw me or Judy off when a seller is telling us no, does it? All right. Well, what did you most enjoy today, Judy?
I've just enjoyed being here, and I was reading back on some comments.
Oh,
And we have one here that says, I was
Oh.
wanting to come. Oh, I was wanting to come to Cincinnati, but they're telling me I have to buy something first. You want to tell them?
yes, you got to buy a ticket. So for all of you in Zoom, you have a ticket to come to actually all of you in Zoom, I believe every one of you have 2 tickets. For everyone on the YouTube, yes, there is a small investment. I don't even remember the amount the team are asking. It's enough. We spend money putting on these events. It's not free to rent the hotel ballroom, and it's not free to fly our team out. So we charge a few $100 for tickets. And whatever that few $100 is, it almost covers what we spend to put the event on. And so, frankly, if it's not a thing that you're in position to do, watch YouTube and enjoy. And if you can afford that at all to get your butt in the room to get to a live event, we don't offer tickets publicly. I just talk about them here, and the team then, when you on the phone with them, you can get tickets. Or for all of you who are in coaching community, you have free tickets. Get with the team, and they will work it out with you. Now, I want you to type this in the chat. I want to give you one last lesson, and then we can go eat some of this good food. And that is,
question.
oh, yes, let's get to the last question, and I'm going to give that last lesson.
Joanne asked, what do you mean part of the community when we're talking about who they could partner with?
Part of the community. So you hear me talk about Circle Community, which is free access version, or for all of you who have bought a toolkit, you will see access to the baseline of Circle. There's about 700 community members in there. When I'm talking about partnering with the community, we partner with our coaching community. So there is 2 coaching tiers and 1 mastermind tier. Again, I don't talk about these publicly online. I don't offer them publicly. They are by application only. All tiers must be applied. And so for anybody wanting to be a part of that, we protect the community with our lives, frankly. And so you got to apply and talk to our team. And then if we feel we're fit to work together, we draw you out a blueprint and we work together. And yes, there's an investment. Now, I want to point out something. When I want you to put it down, write it down in your notes in front of you. You're going to hear me say this a lot as we're together at the event, as I train, and that is no risk, no goodies. Now, I understand we don't buy like we sell. We don't sell like we buy. But when you go to sell a house on lease option, I forbid you from ever selling a house on lease option without getting a big, fat, non-refundable option deposit up front. Because what happens when we sell houses for a first month's rent deposit?
That's just a rent.
It's just a rent.
And
And what do those
yeah.
people sometimes do?
They have no buy-in. They feel no ownership. But when they have given me a big option deposit.
Mike, please.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I like to talk with my hands. I forget the mic. When they have given us a big option deposit, now they feel like they have some ownership in it. That's now there's pride. That's their house. They've invested in it. And if they've invested in that house, they're going to take care of it. They're not going to mess it up. They're not going to trash it. It's not going to have holes in the wall. And if something comes up, heaven forbid, that they do have to walk around, they're going to walk away from the deal. They're going to be apologetic.
Absolutely. And that's such a good perspective. And that's the mindset. And that's why the system is set up the way it is. It is to inspire and empower you guys to become successful real estate investors and to step into the mind. Because to be a successful real estate investor starts here. How do I deal with the no? How do I deal with the person who hangs up on me? How do I deal with the deal I contracted and I'm going, crap, where do I come up with the money? How do I deal with the deal that went sideways? How do I deal with the liens that popped up on the property? Because nothing goes as planned. If I am bought in, if I'm sold, if I'm planning on succeeding in this business, nothing can stop me. If we'll see how this works. I'll make 10 calls and 9 of them are no and 1 is maybe. You're not going to last long in this business. So become committed. For those of you, most of you have been following for a while. You've been here for a while. I see the hearts. I see the loves. I see the laughs. Keep them coming there on YouTube. I appreciate that. Keep the momentum up. Guys, go crush this week. It is Wednesday. It is the Wednesday Deal Room Live. What an incredible time we've had together. I appreciate all your comments. I appreciate the energy, and I appreciate you.
This has been so fun.
Thank
I've
you.
enjoyed being here.
Thank you, Judy.
See you guys next time.
See you next week. Same place, same time. Well, I'll be in a different place, but you'll be the same. All right. See you next place. Bye for now.